And welcome back into a brand new episode of Tribal Council Chat. As always, we are your hosts. My name is Bruce Heller.
And my name's Brett Parnell.
And let's dive in. Do you want to tell the people about this week's episode?
Absolutely. So, kind of keeping track with what I guess a lot of people are talking about online, the 50 cast. We already talked about the players who are on it. Let's go ahead and talk about who we think should have been on it. And we made a list each of our 10 snub players from 50.
Yeah.
So, this should be interesting. I know there's lots of people with lots of opinions. I personally don't have any problem with the cast that we're getting. I think production did a great job at it, but at the same time, there's always going to be some people who were maybe should have been there and weren't, or wanted to be there and to the audience seemed like a slam dunk, or that we're just totally missing.
Yeah. And I think a good way of phrasing this is also just 10 people we wish were on there. Saying snubbed makes it sound like I know that they were in contention and got cut at the last second.
Yeah, that's
I have no
fair.
idea who was or wasn't.
I have no idea of some of the names that are on my list. Some of them we've certainly seen on social media, at least that I cast were, but who knows in terms of everyone. Sure.
So let's dive in.
Want to start as early as possible and just work our way up like we normally do for the 50 stuff?
Yeah.
All right, let's do that. So I'm going to start with a name that I think most of the fan base was excited to see. She's not on the cast, but probably makes almost everybody's mock cast, and that's Jerry from season 2. Someone that we know was relatively disappointed to not be cast on 50.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know how they're doing this. For like I said, the cast they have is great, but Colby and Jerry have played together now 3 seasons that both of them have been on, and you're just bringing one back?
Yeah. Yeah, it feels weird to have one without the other. To be honest, after Heroes versus Villains, it kind of felt like both of their stories were done. So I'm kind of surprised we're getting either of them back after this long, but would have been nice to have Jerry.
One thing that's going to be unique in my list, it might be in yours, who knows? I shouldn't say unique in mine, but notable in mine, I guess is the better word, is kind of like this Colby and Jerry. I've cast a lot of players a lot of duos that it would have just been fun to see them play on opposite tribes as each other, or maybe at some point on the same tribe.
Yeah, for sure.
Whether they be friends, be adversaries, be somewhere in between. I've kind of went with that theme for the players that I would have liked to see there.
Yeah, for sure. And so with my first pick, and I was doing this day of, so they're not entirely in order.
Fair
the
enough.
One I wanted to see most, I will save for last, but I kind of just did bullet points besides that. I'm also going with early Survivor, and I'm going with Cesternino.
Nice. We will just start a discussion then on Rob, because Rob was my second in order.
So good.
So
one of the original people to play the strategy of going back and forth between alliances and doing it successfully.
I mean, to a point, almost the original, because it doesn't work for other Rob in more cases when he goes home right after the merge.
That's true. I was going to say fair play, but Cesternino came the season before that. So.
Cesternino. It's all with Cesternino's game, and I say this about multiple players, but I almost feel that there's a lineage. Survivor 1 and 2, so Borneo and Australia, is all about surviving the elements. Yeah. More so than the social game. Africa gives us our first tribe swap and our first kind of sense of, oh, we have to think about more than just who can build a majority alliance and then run it right to the final five, let's say.
Yeah.
From that, once we see the tribe swap in Africa, Marquesas is where people start playing the strategic game. And they elevate off of each other. Without Boston Rob, there's no Brian. And without Brian, there isn't Cesternino. And without Cesternino, nobody does what Fair Play did.
Yeah.
And so at that point, you're going, okay, if you're Rob, there's two Robs. If you're Boston Rob and Marquesas, he's the first person when he goes on that separate from your tribe with Kathy to say, I can be in more than one alliance at a time.
Yeah.
And then that elevates to Brian not caring about the social feelings of anybody else that he's playing with, which gives Rob Cesternino the license to decide that he can not only be in more than one alliance, but flip back and forth between Jenna and Heidi and between Christy.
Yeah.
And that gives Fair Play the ability to totally change this game.
Yeah. I like Rob a lot more than I like Fair Play. It's one of the few things you and I disagree on is Fair Play and whether the dead grandma thing was a bit too far or not.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge Fair Play fan, but I will admit, like, he did kind of revolutionize the game a little bit.
Yeah.
And so, but no, I wish we were getting Rob on 50. We're getting Rob Cesternino on Traders, though, so he is coming back to TV after all these years.
Which is going to be really fun to watch, but also so confusing because you have to wonder what happened there. And I'd love to hear it at the end on RHAP sometime. Did Survivor cut Rob Cesternino from 50, or did Rob Cesternino, at now everything he's done with OHAP, decide Traders is this new thing that's probably the biggest newer reality show there is in the world and is much more comfortable than playing Survivor, and maybe he wanted to go that way. We don't know.
Was he in contention for 50? I really followed none of the casting rumors flying around.
I thought he was going up until the last day.
Okay.
I was shocked. I might be totally off on that, but from everything I read, Cesternino was in contention for 50.
Okay. Because you followed the casting rumors a lot more closely than I do, because I just didn't trust any of it, because it was Twitter and online stuff. So who do you have next?
Moving to my next name, I'm going from season 6, doubling the number to season 12. Someone that we know was in casting for 50, also was in casting for Edge of Extinction, and that's Danielle DiLorenzo.
Yeah, Danielle's a really good one. I really enjoy her on both her seasons. She didn't cross my mind, but that's a really good pick.
Yeah, that makes sense. I do know she was in Edge of Extinction casting pool at some point in time and was almost there. I'm guessing that it was probably just based on her being, I mean, either or Aubrey or Wentworth could have replaced her at the end, but who were both obviously much more recent big names in the franchise. But Danielle does play a very good game in 12. She goes all the way to the final 2, gets a couple of votes. She gets Shane's vote, which is clearly would take something that most of us don't have. And then comes back and works with probably the big alliance of 20, and that's her, Russell Hantz, who no one knew at the time, and Parvati.
Yeah, for sure.
And then unfortunately gets blindsided by Russell, but Danielle was in a great spot to go all the way to the end of that game too.
Yeah, she made the mistake at that tribal council of saying Parvati and I are closer than you know to Russell.
Yeah.
Which red flagged everyone. So
yeah. Very true.
It's not a smart thing to say there, but
And
she
also would have been in. It would have been interesting to see Danielle on 50 because I mean, even when she played on, I mean, she was young when she played just out of college on Exile Island, but even Heroes versus Villains wasn't long after. At this point, I know she's married, she's had a child, she's moved from the East Coast to the West Coast. She probably would have, and that's one thing that I looked for on this cast, whether they be old school players or new era players, is names that I thought would probably offer something different in 50 compared to what they offered on their first season with multiple seasons.
Yeah, I'd agree
So
with
I
you.
know there's some popular names out there, like, say, Carolyn. I didn't have Carolyn on any of my 50 casts. Was she great on her 44? Absolutely, she was. Probably one of the most memorable Survivor players of all time. But do I think she'd do anything different to win the game? No.
I don't know if I'd say of all time. Of the new era, definitely. But
Yeah,
and we also just to be honest, we also just got a whole season of traders that was very centered around Carolyn. So
yeah.
I, I'm I think she would have been fun on 50. I'm not heartbroken we're not getting it because we just got so much.
All right, Bruce, I know you told me to go again, but I realize that we're now kind of out of order. So I've given three names. You have one. So do you want to go?
I've only given one.
Yeah, you had Cesternino, and he was the second name on my list, and then I went for my third.
Oh,
It's
I
okay.
didn't even realize that. I,
Not a problem.
so next up, we are going to jump way forward, and we may end up coming back to early seasons. One of the best games that didn't win, even though not good at threat level management. My favorite player, my second favorite player of the new era, my favorite player of the first four new era seasons, and that is Jesse Lopez, who is such a good strategist and seemed to be
Nice.
building bonds, but was such a good player he didn't give himself a way to get to the end because once he blindsided Cody, no one was going to let him get there.
Yeah, very true. Jesse is on my list. Um, I can't agree with you more. He would have been amazing on 50. I do think he's probably more of a player that needs to be on an iconic season like 50 as opposed to just any new random returning player season. I mean, I'd take Jesse on any season, but I do think he could have definitely fit into this cast very well in kind of in the same light as someone like Genevieve is on the women's side.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's interesting, just now as I'm thinking of it, it's like Jesse and Genevieve probably are that rare era for like one man and one woman from an era of Survivor that you're going, two of the best strategists got cut at five of
Yeah.
the whole era and didn't make it to the final three. Which I mean, for either of them, final three is probably a win.
Well, Jesse got cut at four. He lost fire.
That's right.
Ricard got cut at five, I think, though.
Yeah, Rickard got cut
He
at
was a
five. You're
great
right.
strategist.
He was.
Also, just D is on the cast, and seeing my two favorite new era players working together would be awesome.
That would have been awesome. I agree.
So I'm naming another one now.
Yeah, you're naming another one for us to get caught up. And then I'm jumping ahead all the way to the 30s.
I am going to jump backwards again and go to my favorite season, Survivor China, and say Courtney Yates.
Whoa.
I don't know that I need a big explanation for why everyone seems to like her that I see online, but
I mean, I was certain when you said my favorite season of all time that we were about to talk about Amanda, but take it away.
we're coming back to that.
Okay.
Like I said, the one I wanted to see most is going to be last.
Fair. All right, so why Courtney?
she's just hilarious. I love the sarcasm and the sass, and it breaks that kind of super fan
Yeah.
type mold that we've gotten from the new era because they're only casting the super fans now.
Yeah, she
Someone
definitely
like
was
Courtney
great
that
on
originally
television.
went on there for the pre-jury vacation trip would just bring a different flavor.
That's funny. Yeah, absolutely. Courtney was amazing television. She was great socially, and I mean, she had a great chance. Like Todd said when we talked to him. Obviously, I'll repeat again how amazing and revolutionary Todd's Final Tribal Council was. But like Courtney had a great shot coming into that Final Tribal Council
Yeah,
to
that's
actually win the game, even though she wasn't that gamer super fan that thinks that they all know everything to win the game.
yeah, that's a good point.
Anything else you want to add before we go on to my next name?
No, go ahead.
All right. So we have two winners on this season, Dee and Kyle, both of which are from the new era. I've mentioned before on other episodes that I don't think that this sets them up very well whatsoever, and that I would have liked to see at least the situation where we have both some older era winners and some new era winners. I don't know what you think, and if you think we're missing any winners pre 40 on this cast or not.
I do have one on my list.
Okay, excellent. So we're on the same page there. With this one, we have some big physical threats in this game. We have Ozzy. We have um, Joe from 48. I was like, do we have Joe? No, we don't have Joe Anglem. Yes, of course we have Joe. But we have Joe from 48. Um, there's some very big challenge threats, but we don't have the challenge threat who actually played that to win the game. So I'm going to put Mike Holloway on my snub list, and he's one that I don't think was in contention. I've never heard about him. I assume it's because his wife is in the casting department that we'll never see Mike Holloway again.
Oh, she is?
Meg from Big Brother.
No, yeah, I just didn't know she worked in casting.
Yeah, she works in casting for CBS.
Nice.
So I assume that that's why he kind of disappeared after Winners at War is because he got married. But I would have loved to see a situation where Mike is competing against players like Ozzy and Jonathan Young and Joe from 48 and having a chance to like own the fact that I still think that Mike is the biggest physical threat to ever play this game.
Yeah.
I know that's an unpopular Survivor opinion, but it's one that I'm going to keep saying.
I don't know that I'd agree with it, but I could argue in favor of it against someone else for sure. Like, there's a case to be made there.
Nice.
So we both had pre 40 winners. And since you mentioned yours, I'll go with mine,
Okay.
which will have me having two people in a row from the same original season. But oh well.
Okay.
I'm bringing Todd out. One of the best strategic games, the best final tribal ever.
Nice.
Because of some personal history, either was not contacted or did not make it very far in Winners at War casting, and I want to see him back.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to see Todd play again. This would have been such a cool concept for them to bring Todd out, especially if we're going with where I think we're going in your season, in your casting. And like we have a equal tribe split three ways between Christian, Mike White, and Angelina. We have that with Joe, Kyle, and Camilla. To see the final three of China all on one tribe would have been neat to see them all walk out.
Yeah, for sure.
See, I really like this idea. I do say, as I have many times, that Todd is the player who had the best final tribal council. I think he's an incredible strategist. I also think enough time has passed that maybe Todd might not come in as the huge threat to win the game that he would have in, say, a heroes versus villains.
Yeah.
And therefore, if Todd was given the opportunity to play 50, Todd could easily become a third two-time winner.
Yeah. And he wouldn't need a season of all winners to do it.
That's true.
Well, hypothetically, he wouldn't. We don't know if he would or wouldn't, but.
Yeah, but it's possible. Yeah. I mean, Sandra did it without a season of all winners, so.
Yeah, that's just kind of a knock I've seen with Tony being one, is that he's a two-time winner because someone had to be. They were all winners.
Yeah.
But, nice. So who do you have next?
Next, I have my second, and this is my last pre-New Era player. Just like they did, I separated like the actual cast is 10 players pre-40, 10 players post-40. Oh, no, they went up to 24. It's 12 players pre-40, 12 players post-40, including the 2 we don't know. I did my math wrong.
Yeah.
So I've gone through this list with 5 players pre-40, 5 players post-40. I don't know if this person was ever contacted, but there's no way that I'm not putting them on a snub list, and that's Michele. How much history there is before, if they needed pre-40 winners, Michele would be the perfect person to just come into a game like this. She's universally loved by pretty much everyone now, and would just be able to command that beach so well to go deep in the game, even though she's a winner and she was a finalist in Winners at War.
Yeah, for sure. My guess would be that no one who played Winners at War was contacted.
I would guess so as well. Which really does, if that's the case, downgrade what their options were for bringing in any pre-40 winners. But I do think if there was to be a pre-40 winner, just how much opportunity Michele has at breaking records of survivors, she'd be the perfect spot for it.
Yeah.
And I mean,
hey, if we want to see her get closer to the most days without being voted out record.
Like I said, I actually think it should just be most episodes, and they could split it. And it would be cool to have Michele and Amanda both kind of have a joint share of the same record.
Yeah.
Because those 2 women are just iconic players of this game across the whole history of the show.
Yeah. Totally agree. Next, I'm going with someone who's played 3 times, but had a really early exit the 3rd time, and is one of the iconic names of the 20s. And that is Sierra Easton. Well,
nice.
To come from the 20s. 2 of her 3 seasons are in the 30s, but
still. I mean, using the challenge Battle of the Era rules, whichever one you started is where you come from.
Yes. Well, this also isn't the challenge. So
I know, but I'm just deciding to adopt the rules for the sake of podcasting.
Yeah.
Because I think they handled that right.
Yeah, I mean...
But no, Sierra would have been amazing on this cast.
A lot of people complain that they thought last season was boring, or no one wanted to make a move or whatever. She's not letting that happen.
That's right.
So it'll give those people that didn't like... I didn't have a problem with last season. The people I liked did well. But I get the complaint, and Sierra is a way to fight against that.
I think, yeah, absolutely. First of all, I'm just going to stay on the Sierra point first. Yeah, you're right. She's definitely going to make moves. She's Probably, I would say. I mean, of every the key argument that everybody makes about against 34 is there were no game changers on this cast, and even though Sierra goes home early, she's the definition of game changer.
Yeah.
And that I mean that it could play out like it did in 34 where she's making moves early and gets voted out, but that's Survivor. Sometimes on a returning player season somebody has to go and she's just as likely to be successful and go deep into the game.
Yeah.
Going to your comment on last season, I agree with you. I did like last season overall. The only thing is that I will also be fair and say I think it was once we hit the right time for Camilla and Kyle to start making moves, that's when I started to like the season.
Yeah.
Before that, it was putting me to sleep. And it's going to be fascinating to see both Camilla and Kyle playing on opposite tribes in 50. And to see Joe out there, who was never really working with either of them, but I don't think is against either of them either.
He was kind of working with Kyle. He just didn't know he wasn't Kyle's top pick. Kyle was in that alliance, sort of.
Yeah, but Kyle was always working with Camilla the way Joe was with Eva.
Yeah, but Joe didn't know that.
I know.
So in his mind, he was working with Kyle.
Yeah.
Also, I would like to think they put Kyle and Camilla on different tribes, but they put Natalie and Jeremy and Tony and you know what? Tony and Sarah is not the same thing. People just want to make it out like it is. But they did
Yeah,
put Natalie and Jeremy on the same tribe. So I don't trust them to put Kyle and Camilla on different tribes, to be honest with you.
that's fair. I'm pretty sure they are going to put 148 person on every tribe.
That would make the most sense. But again, with some of the way
And
that.
same as one David versus Goliath person on every tribe.
Yeah.
I don't think any other season has 3 players, but I could be corrected.
Let me find the graphic. I thought there was 3.
There might be. Oh, no.
Um, well, I look it up. It's your turn to say name, I think.
All right. Yeah, it is. So we're now going to go into the new era. I'm not going to put anyone from season 41. I didn't tend to like that season. I would like to see both Ricard and Sydney get a chance to play again, but I don't think 50 was either of those seasons. I think a more like Second Chance or Blood versus Water season would kind of be better for both of them. Um, I'm going to go to 42 here and kind of like following that duo that we had.
46 had 3.
Okay, so then they'll probably split them up as well. You were right. So like I was saying, that we had that in the older seasons. We had that Jerry and Colby duo that I said could play against each other. We had Aubrey and Michele that could have played against each other. I'm gonna give a new era one here, and that's to have someone to pair up as a player on another tribe with Jonathan Young. So that's Lindsay Delashowitz here.
Nice.
I think this would have been. I think Jonathan is probably in the worst position coming into the game as a huge physical threat who's out on his own. I don't know why. I mean, I didn't hear Lindsay's name ever, so she was probably never even contacted. I have no real idea why, if you're going to bring Jonathan, that you don't want that, like, brother and sister love-hate relationship just battling it out in individual challenges. But the two of them were so fun to watch as a pair that some episodes wanted to get each other out and other episodes thought they were part of the same group before, that I would have loved to see it for another season.
True. You make good points. And she would have been a lot of fun to see. Like you said, her and Jonathan did have that up and down dynamic. So bringing that history to this season would be fantastic. It would add story. It would add to the game. So that would have been
My
a great pick.
my entire new era group of players has some sort of connection either to somebody that's on my list or on the real cast.
Nice. And so next up for me, I am going to go with a bit of an obscure pick. It's a one-time player from a long time ago. It's someone that the fan base has been clamoring for the entire time I've been in the fan base, and that is Natalie Bolton of Micronesia.
Nice. That is a great pick. I don't know how she just slipped off my list, other than Jerry, Michelle, and Danielle were probably hard to beat. But yeah, you're right. How Natalie hasn't played again, I have no idea. She's the mastermind of getting Eric to make the dumbest move ever. She's famous for her question to Parvati that will go down in Survivor history. She's and was on somehow the alternate for Heroes versus Villains, but wasn't put on the cast. I don't quite get how that worked out.
And she'll floss her teeth with your jugular too.
Yes, she will. I mean, I don't like I was saying. I don't get how you don't move around. Like I don't know. Maybe they didn't want Natalie and Parvati to be on the same tribe together. But then they put Danielle and Parvati on the same. Well, that was the season, so of course they didn't know that was going to happen. Stupid me. It's nighttime. But yeah, maybe they didn't want Natalie and Parvati playing on the same tribe together. I mean, was say Danielle or even Jerry really a villain? Could one of them played on the Heroes tribe instead of somebody like Candace, who I don't know how being the player to cause the mutiny is considered heroic, but I would have moved someone around off the villains tribe onto the heroes tribe that was kind of somewhere in the middle in order to get Natalie onto that cast.
From what I've heard, they originally had Parvati and Candace swapped and didn't want, let me think, Suri, Amanda, James. They didn't want four Micronesia people all on one tribe.
Makes sense, I guess.
So
that would make sense. I don't know how they consider Parvati a hero either, though.
I mean, her and Amanda and Suri basically all played the game together.
Yeah, fair.
So how you consider them, the three of them, two different things is what confuses me.
That's a good point. I never really thought of that.
But I think they just wanted to split up Micronesia a little bit. So that
makes sense.
That would explain Candace on the heroes. But yeah. Natalie should have been on the cast for 20. And I don't know who the male alternate was, but
well, we certainly haven't seen the cast photo, unlike Natalie.
Yeah. I would, depending on who it is, I might have voted to give the Randy spot to them. But I don't know who it is, so I'm not going to commit to that or not.
I definitely wouldn't have, but there's another thing we disagree on.
But well,
fair play and Randy.
It's not really a Randy as a character thing. I mean, I'm not a huge fan. It's more so looking in hindsight that he just, of the villains tribe, the men, he brought the least to that season.
Makes sense.
And I don't.
Yeah, I see that.
Close. I mean, think about who the men were on the villains tribe: Rob, Russell, Tyson, Randy, and Cook. Yeah, of those five, I don't know.
Yeah, Randy does.
Easily brought the least to that season for me.
I mean, that's just typical for Gabon.
Yeah. Gabon had a rough time on Heroes versus Villains. Randy was the first to go from the villains. Sugar was the first to go overall because she annoyed her tribe.
And then we don't see another one until Corinne comes back 6 seasons later, and that was the end of that season.
Corinne was a bit more likable her second season to me than her first season.
Yeah, a little bit.
Philip was, I was gonna say less, but probably the same amount of likable
Yeah,
in the
Philip
second
was the
season.
same. All right. So, how many names do you have left on your list? Let's just do a quick
Let
position
me
check.
think who I've said. I just said Natalie. I've
Yeah.
done Todd, Courtney, Sierra, Jesse, and I started with Rob. So I've said six names.
All right. You've said six. Jesse is my seventh. So, go ahead.
Hmm.
We've already talked about Jesse. I mentioned that I would get to him later because I have everyone ranked in season order on mine. So I
Yeah,
have three left. So that means that you should have four left.
yeah. Six
All
plus
right.
four does equal 10. You're right.
I know grade one mathematics today.
It's something. Um, we You and I off the air have talked about kind of ranking new era winners, and this was a debate me and Kevin were having a little bit at the end of 47 was just some of the best new era winners. And it was kind of a debated thing at the end of 47, D versus Rachel, and the
Yeah.
recency bias on that has worn off. I'm not seeing near as Kevin still does, credit to him. I'm not seeing near as many people argue Rachel is the best new era winner now that it's not so recent. But I am going to say Rachel here
Nice.
just to have them both on the same season and see who goes farther.
Yeah, that would be fun. Um, I mean, not only to have them both on the same season, but to have Rachel and Genevieve back on the same season would
Yeah.
also be really fun. Yeah, Rachel would have been a great pick. She played a really good game, especially after she got the advantage from Saul and then had that like second lease on life that just really propelled her game forward to the point that she was almost unstoppable, both physically and socially.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I would have definitely loved to see her back. I mean, I don't. I fully expect that we will get Rachel to play Survivor another time at some point in the 50s.
Yeah. After D has already become the third two-time winner, though.
And the champion of MTV's The Challenge at some point.
But, and that's not a knock against Rachel. She was an incredible winner. There is not a strong one, but there is an argument to be made there if you want to say she's the best new era winner. I'll tell I'll tell you I think you're wrong, but I won't argue with you about it.
Makes sense.
Well, that's kind of the same thing, telling you you're wrong and arguing with you now that I think it. Oh wow.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
All right. So I mentioned that there was two players on my list, but who instead of having a relationship with anyone on the real cast, they had a relationship with each other if I was casting. And I'm going to go to a second player from 43 now, and that's Cassidy Clark.
Nice.
I think Cassidy was in a real good spot to win. I know the fan base generally agrees with that. Um, Credit to Gabler. He got the votes, did what he needed to do. We don't get many bitter jurors anymore, and Carla was certainly one of them.
Yeah.
But no, Cassidy's since done the challenge. She sadly eliminated Michele from the challenge. Came in, I think, fourth place on that season.
Kissed her before she eliminated her though.
That's true. That show has a lot of drunken evenings.
That's just kind of every show on MTV, I'm pretty sure.
Every show on MTV and a lot of other networks lately.
To think MTV though started as music videos. Like it stands
Which
for
have,
music television and it's none and look what it is now. It's just all like that
well,
genre of reality.
because music videos can be watched on YouTube at any given time, and you don't have to trust the VJ to put on whatever they want to listen to.
It's just funny how much that network has changed.
Yeah, well, in Canada, it doesn't even exist anymore. So
No.
I have to stream the challenge online in order to get ready for New Generation Challenge podcast when TT wants to record it,
You guys don't have
which
TV.
will be coming up tomorrow, if probably the same day that you see this show.
You guys don't have MTV, but I shouldn't laugh too much. You are the country that regularly available has fries covered in gravy and cheese. So
Cheese
we need that
curds.
more often in restaurants, to be honest, down here.
Cheese curds. Don't serve it with regular cheese. That stuff's gross.
I did it with mozzarella pearls because I couldn't find anything other than like the fried cheese curds that are in the frozen section, like you get at Culver's or Dairy Queen.
Yeah.
So I did the little mozzarella pearls. That's the only
Nice.
time I've made it, and I feel like that worked. But
Yeah, that would work.
poutine
Sometime you'll
needs
have
to
to
become
come.
more popular down here, though.
Sometimes when the Blues is in Ottawa and Montreal on a road trip, you'll have to come up here and not only see Ottawa, but also we can take the train over to Quebec and you can have the real poutine and the Jewish food and see the Blues play in the loudest arena in the league.
Yeah, because you don't like poutine, right?
No, I don't like poutine, but I do love the smoked meat sandwiches in Montreal.
You're the Canadian, and yet of the two of us, I'm the one that likes the concept of poutine, and I'm the one that hockey is my favorite sport.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. But I
Real
also
real
never
football
caused
is
me to
my
either
favorite.
find my passport or get a new one. So that might be a little while.
I mean, you can become the 11th province.
Oh, no.
All right, back at political jokes aside, back to regularly scheduled programming. We're talking about 50.
Oh, yeah.
Who's next on your list? We have two names left each.
You distracted me with the thought of poutine. So I guess I distracted myself. I brought it up. But next up, I am going to go with, and this is mostly just a personal preference. Like a lot of my picks have been like they bring a ton, or I think they deserve to be there. I just want to watch Lauren O'Connell play again. To be honest,
nice. Yeah,
might be
I
my
think she
favorite
does bring a
one-time
lot.
player ever. So
Yeah, I really like that pick. I think she does bring a lot. I think Lauren would fit
yeah,
exactly. I don't know why she never crossed my mind. I think it's probably because I do have her like top three women on my list for a second chances season. But I think she would be like the type, like I said when I made this, who could really learn from her past mistakes and play this game totally differently. I can guarantee you one thing: if Lauren gets an idol, she's not holding it all the way to the end.
yeah. But
So there's some things that Lauren played strategically perfect and would have. I mean, if only the tribe could have listened to her, like voting out Rick Devens the second he comes back into the game when you don't know what production shoved in his bag. Um, if players like Julie, who didn't really know the game as well as Lauren did, were playing on Lauren's level, Lauren probably could have won the game.
yeah, I and she definitely would bring a lot. I didn't mean that she wouldn't. I just mean like it's not like a super like oh they need to be there. Very deserving, like a lot like the
Yeah,
Cesternino or the Jerry pick. This is kind of just a pick that originates from personal preference,
I
but
love it.
very
When
social
I
player.
when I rewatch Edge and I see Lauren tell everybody that they should vote for Rick the second he gets back in the game, and they don't, my mind instantly goes back to Pearl Islands with Savage and Ryan saying, Ryan O, that is, telling the whole Morgan tribe, Skinny Ryan or Lil will not step one more day on this beach than they have to. And it ends up not working out, and what happens? Lil, of all people, goes all the way to the final two.
Yeah.
And we watched that again play out in Edge of Extinction. Obviously, Rick Devens is a player on a totally different level than Lil, but at the same time, it's like, no, if someone finds a way back into the game, you just get rid of them, especially in the new era where advantages are popping up from every single aspect of the show.
I will say Rick Devens is in my either my fourth or fifth favorite player of that season. So like whether we got more Lauren or more Rick, I was in good shape either way that season.
Yeah, fair enough. I would say Lauren was my second favorite player that season. Devens
Yeah.
was maybe like my fifth.
Devens and Victoria are 4 and 5 for me. I don't know the order. The top
Victoria
three
is
for
my
me is
number
the
one.
Lesu three. It goes Kelly, Lauren, War Dog.
Victoria is my number one, as you probably know.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right. So that brings me to my second last name. And I mentioned that I was talking about all players that could go into duos with other players in the game. And you mentioned your favorite winner, which is D, of the new era, I should say.
Yeah.
So I've put Austin in this spot.
Okay.
He got 3 votes against D. I don't get it, but it would be neat to see the two of them play against each other again.
I would like to have an episode where we have 3 guests on, and one of them is Tawana, and the other 3 are the 3 jury votes for Austin. And we just the entire episode is us giving them free space to explain their jury votes because I understand none of those 4 votes.
Yeah, I don't understand those votes either, but
Was Drew
I
one
mean,
of the Austin votes? Because those 2 were pretty tight the whole time. That would make
I
sense.
will tell you who they were in just a second.
Let me go to
I
Wikipedia.
also can't criticize Drew if it was because he's a Jeopardy Tournament of Champions player now.
Yeah. He and Austin were tight the whole time. If he was one of the 3, I get it.
Voting history.
That's
It was Drew, Bruce, and Kendra.
Yeah, so Bruce and Kendra and Tawana. I want the 3 of them. Drew is basically the 45 equivalent of Danny voting for Deshaun in 41.
Yeah.
There's really
That being said, I mean, you're saying that I would have voted for Deshaun, but
I don't love any of the options in 41.
I don't either, but I feel that the decision that Erica made tainted the game enough that she wouldn't get my vote.
So I'm not. There was a lot of people after 41 saying this person should have won, this person was robbed. I'm not one of them, but I can't say I wouldn't have voted for Xander, honestly.
Nice. Interesting.
What's funny is Xander got to the end with an idol and didn't need to play it. And
Yeah.
got dismissed by all the people throwing shade at him after 41, combating that he should have won. There was way too much talk about Xander after 41. But in 42, Marianne wins basically because she said, look, I had an idol I didn't tell anyone about and didn't need to play. Like, Marianne having this secret idol was this revelation. Like, yeah, you're not supposed to tell people you have an idol. Why is that such a big deal?
Exactly. I don't get it.
I like that she was like super fun and positive and like energetic, but
the only one thing that I will say with that idol is no, you're not supposed to tell people about the idol. Also, though, much of the time you need it. Yeah. Marianne played socially well enough that she didn't need it, allowing her to make this big move of I had something that none of you knew about.
And she did make the move to take out Omer before he got to her. So I'll give her credit for that too. So, yeah.
Yep.
So it's me now?
It's you have 2 left or 1?
I think I have 2.
Yeah, it's you. Then it's me, and then you'll wrap up with the most obvious player on this list of both of us.
Yeah, my next pick is someone you just mentioned, and that is Lil Morris from Survivor Pearl Island.
And you thought my Austin pick was crazy.
It's not actually at all.
I know. I'm just kidding. I know. I could tell that from a mile away. It
Oh,
was,
it wouldn't be an episode of this show if I didn't bring my sarcasm into it somehow.
it was funny.
But yeah, I am. Hmm, there's a lot of possibilities here. I am going to go with someone that going into. Well, is Sam on the new season on 50? I forget.
No,
Okay, I'm going with someone. I don't know why I'm still giving the intro like this. I just said the name. Who I went into the final tribal thinking he was gonna get blown out, and then final tribal happened, and I thought, oh, this is gonna be close, and then he somehow got blown out still, even though final tribal was an absolute battle. So I'm going with Sam Phelan here.
that's a great pick.
So
Yeah, that's a really good pick, especially with that cross, considering Genevieve's on the season. It would have been fun to see the two of them play against each other when they played together the entire merge. Um, and then, like you say, yes, I went in thinking Rachel was going to win. Halfway through Final Tribal, I tweeted, Sam is going to win this. And it didn't happen, but I really thought that he was doing that like almost Todd-esque. I'm going to come in behind and win it at FTC.
I don't think Todd came in behind. I think he had went in with the best resume.
So, but do you
And
think
he
he went in
clinched
with
it
the
at
most
final
votes?
tribal for sure, but I don't think
But do
he
you
was
think
the
he went in with
underdog
the
though.
most votes?
What?
Do you think he went in with the most votes on the jury?
I have no way of knowing that, but
I don't either. I've just from everything I've pieced together, it sounds like he was maybe behind by a vote or two.
if you look at the resumes, though, he shouldn't have been going in.
Oh no, he shouldn't have been. I 100% agree.
And so, yeah, where are we?
My final pick.
Okay, let's do it.
And if you're taking Lil Morris, let's up you, and I'm going to bring Hannah Rose back. Just
Don't
kidding.
make me pull Philip out of my back pocket. I'll put him and Q and Coach all on the same tribe.
You would never want to see Philip on a season again.
No, but him and Q and Coach all on the same tribe, I might sign up for a couple episodes of that.
That would be hilarious. No, you just pick Sam, and my actual pick here also has that relationship with Genevieve through Operation Italy. I'm going to put Andy.
Yeah, and
Andy came into the game seeming like a total mess, and then was part of the biggest move of the new era. What?
and shout out to Kevin, who in guest hosting for you came on this show and declared Andy was going to win, only for Andy to go home next.
Yeah.
So I just want to put that out there
That
as
was
a
funny.
fun memory. So, no, Andy's a great pick. He's got great hair also.
Yes.
I definitely think he has the ability to get off to a better start than how he started 47.
And I mentioned it with Coach. I mentioned it with Q in previous when we talked about the real 50 cast. We could have every tribe could have its own Bills fan.
Yeah.
Andy, for those of you who don't know, was born in Buffalo, New York.
Yeah. And he and Gabe did some sort of like chicken wing bet when the Bills and Ravens played each other in the playoffs.
Yeah, I saw that. That was funny. And speaking of that, the Bills and Ravens play each other in week 1 coming up in about 6 weeks.
Yeah, and In the playoffs, the Bills beat the Ravens, but still lost to Kansas City. So just
Okay.
want to throw that out there. And then not talk about the playoff game that came after that at all because I blocked it out of my memory. But
Hey, if the Bills win, I'm happy. If the Chiefs win, at least Taylor's happy.
you're a Colts fan.
Yes, I am.
You keep saying, "Oh, if the Bills win, I'm happy," and acting like you're a Bills fan on this show. Don't abandon the Colts.
I'm not.
Don't forget your team just because they're crappy.
That's for sure. Hopefully, we come last this year and get another Manning onto the team.
Giving up on Anthony Richardson already. Smart move.
Oh, that was done a long time ago.
He's not a good quarterback.
No, he gets
He
injured
pulled
too easily.
himself out of a game because he was tired last year, I'm pretty sure. But Heaven's a Bears fan, so at least you're not that.
That's for sure.
So my last one is Amanda. Do I need to give
Nice.
an explanation as to why? I feel like
I
that's kind
mean,
of the entirety of our show at this point.
yeah, Amanda, I think, is your favorite player of all time.
Tied.
Tied, yeah. Fair enough. So, yeah, no, you don't need an explanation, but it's too bad that Amanda was not on this. I'm going to repeat again. If she was actually in contention like people thought, I don't know what casting is thinking. Cut Ozzy. I don't need to see Ozzy for the 15th time. I need to see Amanda after Heroes versus Villains.
I don't know that I believe she ever was. She fell
I
off the face of Survivor, never to be seen again. I doubt she
I'm not
randomly
convinced that
popped
she
back.
yeah, I'm not convinced that she ever was either. But if that's all it came down to, then I'm pretty disappointed in casting for not deciding, you know what, if Amanda doesn't want to play with Ozzy, then it's Amanda, not Ozzy.
If that, I've heard that. I haven't heard that. What I had heard is that there was a scheduling conflict.
Fair enough.
But again, all these Twitter rumors, I kind of don't believe Amanda was ever actually in contention because I don't think she wants to be associated with the show.
That makes sense.
She fell off the face of the Survivor fandom after 20. So,
And again, it's harder for the older players too, though, because is a number of players who have just fell off the face of the Survivor fandom. But also, I mean, for people that aren't in their 20s playing Survivor in the new era, for people that are Amanda's age, Parvati's age, going into like older than that, our parents' age, being on social media is kind of just not a core aspect of their life growing up.
yeah.
So, like the fact that Amanda doesn't have an Instagram, who really cares? I don't think that should disqualify her at all, seeing that she's not like 22.
Yeah. It's having her on there would have been really fun. I never really thought it was real, so I wasn't that disappointed when it didn't happen.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, so that was a good episode. Do we want to wrap up with a Align Blindside First Boot?
Sure.
My Align Blindside First Boot is, because it's the three names stuck in my mind, Coach Philip and Q. Let's go. You gave that one to me.
I'm going to first boot Philip because I think he would get on my nerves the quickest. I'm going to blindside Coach and go to the end with Q.
Interesting.
That's kind of just a flip of the coin, honestly. They're very similar players in my mind.
I'm going to first boot Coach. I think of these three, he's the one that went deep into the game and actually had a shot to win. I mean, we have to remember, Coach got votes to win this game.
Yeah.
So I am going to first boot Coach. I mean, Philip got a vote too. If Ralph was still alive, I would put Ralph in that category with Kendra, Bruce, and Tawana. Sadly, Ralph is not with us anymore, so may he rest in peace.
Yeah.
Because I would love to know why he decided to vote for Philip. And did he actually want Philip to win Survivor, or did Ralph have a personal vendetta with Natalie Tenorelli and wanted to make sure that there was a clear second and third place win?
I think he just didn't want to vote for Rob, is my guess.
Fair enough. That I can see too. Um,
Rob has that effect on people.
yeah. I mean, ask Lex, Tom, and Alicia.
Yeah.
But so I'm gonna first boot coach. I am going to blindside Q because I don't know what Philip would do as a juror. We've never seen that. It's would be a total loose cannon. But what we have seen is Philip sit at the end of this game and lose. So I'll align with Philip.
I do kind of want to see him as a juror now, honestly.
Now you're making me want to see him as a juror.
Oh, that's funny. So we were just talking about football. The first of my three names is kind of the survivor equivalent of the Bears and of the Jets, and that is Francesca Hoagie, the only two-time first boot, which I don't know that I could pick a singular in my player that, in my opinion, is the worst to ever play the game. But statistically, Francesca's the answer to that question.
Yeah.
So,
Which is unfortunate because I don't think that she is. There's probably a good half dozen players that I think are worse at the game than Francesca.
no, but placement-wise, it's
No, you're 100% correct.
So I'll give you Francesca, who said if she got voted out first again, she would eat a rock, and I don't think she ever ate that rock.
I hope not. It's
Well, I
not good
hope
for
not
you.
for her health, but
Yeah.
it's just funny that she said that in the confessional and then it happened. And I am going to give you Natalie Bolton, who we talked about, and who was an alternate for 20. And I will give you. Let's go really off the wall here and say Paloma from Gabon.
Nice.
No idea where that came from. Just kind of popped into my head.
So I will first boot Paloma from
Such a
Gabon.
random group.
That is a random name, but I mean, hey, I'll first boot her. I don't remember much of Paloma from Gabon. I know if she was on the Gabon cast, she's got to be probably a little out there, or maybe we missed out on something because she went home early.
Yeah.
I will blindside Natalie Bolton. I don't know if that's possible because we've seen her just blindside other people, but boy, would that be a good resume move if you could pull it off, especially as a young single male to
And you get
blindside
another
Natalie
jury
Bolton.
question out of her.
Maybe. That would be hilarious to see her back on another jury after what happened in Micronesia. And that leads me to align with Francesca. I honestly don't think, like I just said, statistically, Francesca's the worst player ever. I do think Francesca understands Survivor. She's still active in the community. She's close friends with both Eliza and Corinne. She's very well active online with the things that she's passionate about. I think that Francesca could have a decent run in this game if there was ever either one, her targeting Rob a bit too early, which you don't want to do, or two, I mean, the C tier favorites tribe, anything could have happened because, I mean, that wasn't a favorites tribe. I'll put it that way.
I mean, Brenda was a favorite.
Yeah, Brenda was a favorite. Andrea was a favorite. Malcolm was a favorite. The rest of them, eh.
Cochran became a favorite that
Cochran
season.
becomes a favorite that season, absolutely. But was he coming in? I don't think so.
Dawn becomes toothless at one point that season.
He does.
Twice.
And almost quit because of it.
At least said she was going to quit because of it.
Yeah.
We have no way of knowing if she actually would or not. I believe it, but
Oh yeah.
I still say I don't have a huge problem with Brenda doing the final tribal council
I
thing.
don't either. I know it's unpopular, but
I think it's pretty 50-50 from what I can tell. But it's
who are your three? What order are you going on this one?
I don't know. I don't have enough faith that the other two are good players. So I'm gonna go to the end with Natalie because I know she can make it that far.
Nice.
I'm gonna blindside Paloma for no other reason than I'm first booting Francesca for the meme of it all. And just yeah. I really don't remember Paloma, but Francesca being first boot again is enough of a meme that I'll do that.
Fair enough.
And with that being said, check out all the other Reality Realm shows, New Generation Challenge podcast,
Which is being posted today.
and Pit Stop Pals should finally be coming back. We've had crazy busy schedules that haven't lined up.
Yeah. I
BB
mean, I've
doing
started
well.
watching season one, so whenever you and Kevin are ready, let me know. We'll do it.
Okay.
I'm going to be doing overnight work this week, but back to my normal life after that.
And BB Brains is finally up and running, so check that out too. And
Yeah,
that being
check
said,
that out. I
Greg,
watched the first episode of Big Brother to see what Kyle's going to be talking about. We'll see how long that lasts, but I'm looking forward to listening to his show.
it'll probably last longer than Francesca's Survivor career either time. That's
Has
not,
it not
I don't
already?
mean that as a shot at her. She seems really nice, but the joke was there. So, that being
Fair
said,
enough.
grab your torches and head back to camp. Bye, everyone.
Good night.